A 22-year-old Indian student from Karnataka, Saketh Sreenivasaiah, who was pursuing a master's degree in chemical and biomolecular engineering at the University of California, Berkeley, was reported missing and has now been found dead in California, about 6 days after he was last reported missing. This is a developing story, and details can change quickly, but it is already raising urgent questions for international students and families. What do we actually know? What is still unconfirmed? Who is affected? And what should you do if someone you care about suddenly goes missing in the US? By the end of this video, you will have 3 clear takeaways. First, a plain English summary of what has been reported so far and what we cannot responsibly confirm yet. Second, a clear breakdown of who may need to take action in situations like this, especially friends, roommates, and international student communities. And third, a practical missing person checklist for the US that can save critical hours, including how to coordinate with police, the university, and the Indian consulate without spreading rumors or accidentally slowing down the search. Now, before we go further, one important note. In cases like this, the internet can fill gaps with speculation. That can be painful for families, and it can also interfere with accurate information. So throughout this video, I am going to separate what is reported from what is not confirmed and focus on process and safety steps that apply broadly. Here is what has been reported in the brief we have. Saketh Sreenivasaiah, age 22, from Karnataka, was pursuing a master's program at UC Berkeley. He was reported missing, and he was later found dead in California, around 6 days after he was reported missing. Beyond that, the key word is investigation. Until authorities release more details, it is not responsible to claim a cause, a motive, or a timeline beyond what is publicly stated. Here is the part most people miss. Even when a story is widely shared, there can be multiple parallel information streams, police updates, university communications, and consulate involvement, and they do not always move at the same speed. That is why families sometimes feel like they are not hearing enough, even when an investigation is active. So let's walk through the typical timeline in plain terms. In a missing person situation in California, someone reports that a person cannot be located and is out of character. That report may come from friends, roommates, family, or the university. Police then start with basic verification steps, confirming last known location, phone activity if available through lawful channels, checking hospitals, jails, and other databases, and interviewing people close to the missing person. If the missing person is a student, the university may also have its own internal process for welfare checks, housing checks, and outreach to friends or instructors, depending on privacy rules and what information can be shared. 2 groups are at the highest risk of losing time in the early hours. Group 1 is friends and classmates who assume a waiting period exists and delay contacting police. Group 2 is families overseas who do not know who to call first in the US, so they start by messaging multiple people on social media and lose precious hours before a formal report is filed. Myth versus reality moment number 1. Myth. You must wait 24 or 48 hours before reporting someone missing. Reality. In the US, you can report an adult missing immediately, especially if their disappearance is out of character or there are safety concerns. Police can take a report right away. Now, who is affected by a case like this and who is not? If you are a current student at UC Berkeley or any US campus and you are feeling unsettled, that reaction is normal. But the people who may need to take direct action are usually in a few buckets. First, close contacts. Roommates, close friends, lab partners, anyone who knows routines, recent stressors, or last known plans. Second, family members who may have access to key identifiers like passport details, a recent photo, medical information, or phone account details. Third, student services and designated emergency contacts. International Student Office, Student Affairs, Housing, and Campus Police, depending on the campus. And fourth, consular contacts for international cases, because consulates can help families coordinate, request welfare assistance, and navigate local procedures. Who is typically not directly affected, in the sense of needing to take immediate steps. is the wider online audience speculating or reposting unverified claims. Sharing unconfirmed locations, unverified sightings, or allegations can harm investigations and can cause additional trauma for family and friends. Now, why do these stories feel especially alarming for international students? Part of it is distance and unfamiliar systems. If your family is in India and you are in California, you may not have a local support network. You may not know the difference between city police, county sheriff, campus police, or state agencies. And you may not know what the university can share due to privacy rules. Another factor is speed and scale. U.S. universities are large, and information can be fragmented. A missing person report might start with one department, while friends are calling another, and family is trying to reach the consulate. That creates confusion, even when people are trying to help. Here is a small detail that changes everything: the quality of the first report. When a report is detailed, it helps authorities move faster. When it is vague, it can slow down early steps. That is why I want to give you a practical framework that any student group can prepare before something happens. Before we get to the checklist, let's talk carefully about real-world consequences that families and students often face in these situations. One is communication delays. If a student is missing and you do not know their close circle, you may not know their roommates' names, their lab schedule, or their regular routes. Another is technology limitations. Families may assume police can instantly track a phone. In reality, location data access has legal processes, and different carriers have different procedures. Another consequence is the risk of misinformation. Well-meaning friends may post a missing poster with incorrect details or conflicting timelines, leading to duplicate tips that overwhelm volunteers. And in the worst cases, rumors can turn into harassment of innocent people. Myth versus reality moment number 2. Myth. The university can always give parents full details immediately. Reality. For adult students, universities often have privacy restrictions and may need consent or specific conditions to share certain information, though they can still take welfare and safety actions. Now an example scenario, and I want to be clear, this is a composite example, not about this specific case. Example scenario. A grad student does not show up for lab meeting and does not respond to messages. Friends assume the student is busy and wait overnight. The next day, the roommate says they have not seen them since yesterday afternoon. At that point, someone calls campus police, but the report is missing key information like what they were wearing, where they were last seen, their phone number, and whether they recently mentioned traveling. The report gets filed, but the first few hours are spent gathering basics that friends could have provided immediately. In many cases, those early hours are the difference between a quick location and a prolonged search. So what should you do now, in general, if you are a student in the US or you have family studying here? Here is the practical checklist segment, and I will phrase it as do this and avoid this. Do this. If someone is missing and it is out of character, call local police or campus police immediately. Ask for an incident or case number. Write it down. Do this. Gather a recent, clear photo, physical description, clothing last seen, last known location, time last seen, and any known medical needs. Do this. Make a list of places to check: dorm or apartment, friends, lab, library, favorite cafes, gyms, and any regular transit routes. Do this. Contact the university resources, student affairs, housing, and the International Student Office. Ask specifically about a welfare check and whether there are campus alert procedures for missing persons. Do this. If the person is an international student, contact the relevant consulate for guidance. Consulates cannot run a police investigation, but they can help families coordinate, understand local procedures, and in some cases assist with communication and documentation. Do this. Centralize communication. Choose 1 or 2 point people to collect tips, update the family, and coordinate with police. Keep a simple log of times, names, and phone numbers. Avoid this. Do not assume you must wait. Avoid this. Do not publicly post unverified allegations or name individuals as suspects. Avoid this. Do not share sensitive personal data openly, like passport numbers, full bank details, or private medical records. Share those only with authorities or trusted officials when asked. Avoid this. Do not flood emergency lines with duplicate calls. Use the case number and a designated contact person when possible. Here is where people get denied, not in an immigration sense, but in the sense of getting traction. When they cannot show that the disappearance is out of character and they cannot provide a last known location. So if you are a student watching this, you can prepare right now. Make sure your emergency contact is updated with your school. Share your basic schedule and roommate contact with a trusted friend or family member. Keep your phone emergency settings enabled, and if you are comfortable, set up check-in habits with a friend group, especially if you live alone. Now let's talk about what help different entities can provide, because this is another common confusion point. Local police or campus police are the primary investigators for a missing person report, depending on jurisdiction. They can take a report, coordinate searches, and request assistance from other agencies when appropriate. The university can help with welfare checks, access to certain campus-related information within policy limits, outreach to campus community, and connecting students to support services. The Indian Consulate can support families in navigating local systems, provide guidance on documentation, and communicate with local authorities, but they generally do not replace law enforcement. Myth versus reality moment number 3. Myth. Posting on social media is the fastest way to trigger action. Reality. Social media can help, but the fastest trigger is a formal report with a case number, plus direct coordination with police and the institution. Now, in the specific case mentioned in the brief, the key point is that the student was reported missing and later found dead after 6 days. That tells us the early missing person window mattered, and it also tells us an investigation is likely ongoing to determine what happened. What should you watch next as a viewer trying to stay informed without getting pulled into rumors? Watch for official statements from the law enforcement agency handling the case. Watch for official university communications if they release any. Watch for consular statements if they choose to comment. And watch for reputable news outlets updating the story with attributed information, not anonymous speculation. If you see posts claiming a specific cause or blaming specific people without sourcing, treat that as unverified until it is confirmed by authorities. Another key watch point is whether authorities ask the public for tips, release a last known location, or provide a hotline. If that happens, follow the official instructions and share only the official contact details. Now, if you are an international student community leader or you run a student group, here are 2 quick actions that can make your community safer. First, create a simple emergency template: who to call, what information to gather, and how to coordinate with campus resources. Second, maintain a confidential buddy system for students new to the area, especially during the first semester when routines are not established. This is not about surveillance. It is about reducing the chance that someone can disappear unnoticed. Let's do a final, calm recap. 1. What has been reported is that Saketh Sreenivasaiah, a 22-year-old from Karnataka studying at UC Berkeley, was reported missing and has been found dead after about 6 days. 2. Many details may still be unconfirmed, so do not spread speculation. Follow official updates from police, the university, and the consulate when available. 3. If someone goes missing, you do not need to wait to report it. File a report immediately and get a case number. 4. Organize information fast. Last known location, timeline, photo, and key contacts. 5. Coordinate through 1 or 2 point people and use official channels to avoid confusion. If you are a student or a parent watching this, please take this as a reminder to set up a simple safety net today. Updated emergency contacts, check-in habits, and a plan for what to do if someone cannot be reached. If you want more calm, practical explainers on U.S. rules, student safety steps, and how to navigate official processes without panic, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you have a question you want us to cover next, leave it in the comments, but please keep this respectful and avoid posting unverified claims about ongoing investigations.